Hey, sorry about that. I know we were supposed to go at 10:30. I was having some connection issues. That's on me. Let's see if we can get everybody fired up in here. Okay. Still working. Good, good, good. Alrighty. All right. So today we're gonna have JJ on. So I'll wait till he hops on here. I'll introduce him. We got a great one today. I know it's a little early, 10:30. So thanks y'all for getting up with me. Appreciate it. From Windsor, sick. That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah, I'll just wait for JJ to join, and then we're good to. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let me get JJ in here, and we'll get started. JJ in the building. Okay, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Pretty good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Let me do a quick intro for everyone. Again, everyone, thanks for hopping on. So today we got JJ. I'm talking one of the sweetest investors coming out here. You're out west, right?
Yeah, Niagara region.
Niagara region, right? All right. So JJ's pretty much done it all: short-term rentals, wholesaling, flipping, a little bit of rentals, man. My guy's touching everything. So it's a real pleasure to have you on the live here. I really appreciate you taking some time speaking with me today.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on the live. It's a,
Okay, that's sweet.
and as a
So
matter of
yeah,
fact, it's my first live too. So
first live.
yeah,
Listen, I'm taking a couple.
I don't do a lot of lives. That's why.
That's good. I'm taking a lot of L cards. You know what I'm saying? So it's sweet. It's sweet. So yeah, we'll keep it quick, keep it brief. We both got a couple questions for each other. I'd love to dive in. So I know you had some prepared. Why don't you go first? I'll come with my three after, and we can give the viewers a great piece of content.
Awesome. No, for sure, for sure. Man, Henry, I've been following your journey for a while now. I know we connected back over one deal that I was working on back in the days.
Yeah,
But I think the first question is I see you source a lot of your deals off market.
yeah.
What marketing strategy is the most effective for you?
Sure. It's funny. The question I'm going to ask you is very similar. So for me, what I found has worked the best is word of mouth. Now I get it. There's other things you can do, mailers, flyers, so much of social media marketing, but there's nothing that sells this like this. And what I mean by that is you got to talk to people. So there's a very fine line between annoying people talking about real estate and educating them and showing them what you're doing. So when you can have interesting content, whether you're talking about deals, talking about, some tenant issues, property management stuff that's intriguing for them, they kind of want to listen, they leverage in, and before you know it, their mom's sister says, "Oh, I got a house that I don't know what to do with. Maybe I'll call that Isaiah guy." Boom, top of mind. So again, kind of being more open with what you're talking about, bring that real estate topic up in a way that's not annoying, but that provides value for people not in the industry. And that's been my most successful way of picking up those off market deals.
No, I love it. And I think a lot of people sleep on that strategy. They think they just have to
Yeah,
direct mail, they have to do their online marketing. They don't see the power of word of mouth and how far that goes. So um,
exactly.
I can definitely relate with that. And so I know I've seen you recently as well. You're dabbling a lot in the multifamily space now, and I love that.
Yeah.
Because I've started doing it as well very, very recently because of the value. So, what are type of setbacks or challenges you face in the multifamily investment game?
Sure. So when I talk about, just so we're clarifying, when I talk multifamily, I'm talking small multifamily between 2 and 4 units. Understanding when you get into five, you get into commercial. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not where I'm going right now. So the challenges, I invest primarily in Ontario. So the landlord tenant RTA that has certain restrictions that can make multifamily investing kind of troublesome. So I'll give you an example. Looking at a triplex, beautiful, then running the numbers, I'm like, okay, this might be it. But then I'm looking at the rent roll, and I got someone in there paying 430 a month when the market rent is like 1900. He's in a 3 bedroom, 1 bath unit, and he's paying like 430 bucks. And just the way Ontario's legislation is, it's very hard to move them out. You can do cash for keys. There's other things you can do, but I'm sure, as you know, that's like the biggest challenge, especially taking that risk if the seller doesn't want to remove the tenant themselves. So that's been the biggest thing for me, justifying picking up deals with low rents, and then, how am I going to get those rents up, or how am I going to get that tenant out? That's been something I've been working through lately.
Nice. No, I think that's exactly what I do as well. I'm picking up a lot of properties that have like very low paying tenants that have been there for like 10 years, 15 years. I've even seen in one scenario 21 years. Um,
21. Jeez.
yeah, it's insane, man. They're paying very little. And ideally, yeah, cash for keys. But again, you get a lot of your deals. Like it's the same thing, like risk to reward, right?
Exactly.
So the value, the price that I get these properties on, even if the tenants have been there. So the way I look at it, like, okay, long term, if I were able to get them out, ideally the deal would make sense, as a whole, right? But I definitely
Yeah.
agree with you. It's definitely a challenge for not even only you, a lot of investors that
Hmm.
are getting to the space, right? They don't want to deal with tenants or do cash for keys. Um,
Yeah. And that, sorry to just cut you off, that cash for keys model, it's not as easy. Everyone's just like, oh, just go do cash for keys. I'm like, it's not that easy, especially when you
so
talk to some guys in the business. It's not like, yo, here's 5,000, leave. It's, you got to negotiate, you got to work that relationship. And if they don't want to go, there's really nothing you can do to make them go. And again, we can get into some shady stuff that I know some other people are into, but not what we do here. So I'm just talking above board with the law.
yes.
That is definitely a challenge we come into. So I'm glad we can, connect on that.
Absolutely, and one thing that I do as well is like there are paralegals out there that do cash
Yeah.
for keys for a small fee. Even myself and even from other investors, I've seen like they have had a lot of success with that. So
Yeah.
I think that's an option you should definitely explore.
Ooh, that's
Having
good.
your paralegal do cash for keys for you, because again they take the paralegal more seriously. And paralegal, it's like, I mean, she does it more often, so
Yeah.
she knows the tips and strategies to make sure that they get out.
Oh, that's huge. That's a huge one. I didn't even realize that was an option. So that's really cool. So on that, do you just tell the paralegal, hey, this is my max cash for keys I'm willing to offer? Go
Yeah.
in and make that deal happen.
Yeah, typically the way I work with my paralegals are, they ask me what's the maximum I'm willing to pay to get the tenant out, right? Again, you don't
Hmm.
pay them, you don't offer them that high, but you don't offer them too low as well, because if you offer them too low, then you're ruining the relationship of having the conversation continue, right? So ideally,
Exactly.
you want to go with your best number, and yeah, I mean, for my investments, honestly, I do like 10K per door on cash for
Yeah.
keys on the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But ideally, with my most recent property, I had a fourplex in Niagara. I was
Yeah.
able to get all three of them out myself without my paralegal,
Oh,
for like 9,000 total. So that was,
shoot, that's good.
yeah. So that was a good
Do you
experience.
now? Do you find, because I invest long distance, I like most of the stuff I do, I can't drive to, or I don't plan to drive to. Do you feel that there's something about being face to face with the tenant, or do you do cash for keys like virtual a lot?
So okay, so what I okay, so now I'm working with paralegal because I'm buying buildings, I'm buying bigger multifamilies that have tenants in them. So I don't wanna show them my face. But even when I do go to them, I don't go as a owner. I go as a property manager. Um,
Yeah, there you go. That's
so
smart.
so for the Niagara Falls property, I was training my property manager how to do cash for keys. So he was with me, and yeah, we were able to get everything done. I was able to just set that bar, and then my property manager was handling everything after that. So
Nice,
it went
nice.
pretty smooth. It went pretty smooth, in that sense.
That's sweet. Yeah,
Like,
that's definitely a
um,
strategy. I'm gonna have to employ. Maybe I'll have to, bring you back and talk just straight paralegal for a little bit.
absolutely, and even just add on to that, right? The way I propose to the tenants is, I'm gonna be demoing everything here. This property is uninhabitable. I'm sure you know that as well because. Henry, I think I lost you.
Yeah. No. Oh, sorry. You still good? We still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay. Bet. Okay. Sorry.
No
Internet.
worries.
What are
No
you
worries.
gonna do?
It's all good. But yeah, like I was saying, so you like whenever I do go in there or I tell my property manager to go in there, we just go in there and we have them tell us what's wrong with the property, right? All these properties are in worse condition, so the way we propose is that we're gonna be doing so much work in there that you're not gonna be living and you're gonna be hassling as we're doing renovation. So it's just better for you to find a better location, and
Oh,
and
okay.
and one way or another we're gonna be giving you a notice to do the renovations. But again, we want to help you guys out, so what if we pay you, let's say, $2,000 that can help you move into your new place? Would that be something you'll be interested in? So just having that
Yeah.
conversation, right? But you don't have to have those conversations. You can have, somebody that's representing you have those conversations on your behalf.
That's great. I think that's a really good key, especially if you're going to do it long distance. Bring that paralegal in, and say, "Hey, this is what I want to do," and having that team member going there. So that's sweet. That's a great tip, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. No.
Was that all your questions, or you have one more?
I have one more.
Yeah, hit me.
So let's suppose that you have $200,000. Would
All right.
you private lend or would you invest into real estate, and why?
All right. Okay. So this is me. If I had 200K, I'm private lending. This is the reason why. So I feel education is a big play on private lending. Like everyone's like, oh, just give me some money, I'll give you some interest. But when you get into like an upper echelon of private lending and you know what you're doing, I'm not gonna lie, those are where the big men are sitting. Those are where the big players are sitting. And if you're able to move your money properly, because if you're private lending, if you're actively involved as you are as a real estate investor, you can be seeing some really high returns. You can be putting your money into some really equitable things. And again, I don't want to have a huge portfolio. That's not my personal goal. So if I have 200K and I can lend that out actively, I won't comment on some of the rates that I get with some of the investments that I'm involved in, but that's more than enough to fund the kind of lifestyle I want. I'm trying to go to the cottage. I'm just trying to be on the lake, and me, my truck, and my dog. Let me just relax. That's all I'm trying to get to. So for me personally, I would private lend out if I got 200K free and clear.
Awesome. I think that's a private lending is an amazing strategy.
I know. I love it. I think it's always going to be a little piece of my portfolio. And then as I scale my active investments, I think I'd like to get more into the private lending and keep my portfolio manageable there. But man, those are some good questions, man. You thought deep on those.
No, of course,
That's
it's
good.
giving
Anyway,
value as well, right? But yeah, no, I agree.
100%.
Private lending is amazing.
So yeah, let me grab three for you. So I know, similar to the question you asked, I know a lot of your deals are off market. You're involved a little bit of wholesaling, flipping. What marketing strategy have you found to be most effective in the past 6, 7 months?
Yeah, a lot of my deals are off market. So right now I run a wholesaling team, Angel Properties. So that's how I'm
Hmm.
sourcing a lot of my off market deals as well. And I would say the best strategy that I have seen is honestly online marketing. Because you have a lot of control when you're doing online marketing, right? You can target certain individuals, you can target their emotions, how you present, your ad to them, right? So you have a lot of control in that degree. But I also see direct mail as very effective as well, because what a lot of people do is they send out a big mail and they wait for the calls, right?
Yeah,
Marketing is not just hitting as many people as you can. Marketing is like you have to hit as many people as you can, but you got to hit them consistently. Marketing is
yeah,
not the game of wholesome, it's a game of consistency.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so as long as you're consistent with your online marketing, you're consistent with your direct mail, you will be starting to get leads, because people will know you, people will gain more trust in you because you are consistently hitting them with your marketing stuff, right? So I would say these
Nice,
are my top two effective ways of marketing for
good stuff.
off market deals.
Now, when you say online, are you talking like Facebook, Google Ads, or do you have like a website you're bringing leads into that way?
Yep, Facebook and Instagram. I don't do much Google ads. Just Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram, to be
they're
honest.
expensive. Google Ads are expensive.
It's too expensive, yeah. And I
Like,
see, and I'm seeing returns even with these type of ads, right? So I'm like, okay,
exactly. And I'm sure you're tracking stuff so you know where you're getting your most bang for your buck. So that's a really good thing there that way.
yeah, yeah, I like
Perfect.
that.
Okay. Second question. So I noticed that multifamily is obviously where you're going. Like I know you've touched on single family, but multifamily is the most. And I know we discussed the cash for keys option there. So that's one of the challenges you deal with multifamily current tenants. But I wanted to discuss financing. I think we covered 1 to 4 units, but anything above 4 units, what have you found your biggest challenge financing those are?
Honestly, okay, so anything that goes above 4 units, it's a business you're buying, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
multifamily is a business. It's a business saying how much NOI this business is producing, how profitable is this business, how much upside is there to this business, right?
Nice.
Financing wise, is having a good broker on your side, right? Because again, in your business, you're not gonna be the whole sum of your whole team. You gotta have different sections of your team, right? Like, so if I'm working with an off market deals, I go hop on a call with my broker. I create a rough performa, and
Yeah.
so and then that's where my broker goes on that performa, puts some numbers in it, and then he gives me different options that, hey, can we go with different private lenders or conventional lendings. But
Yeah.
one thing I would say is the biggest is like, a lot of these buildings are underperforming, the ones that I'm buying that are
Okay.
like for example is like this building we're buying in Kitchener, right? This building we're buying for 1.3 million. It's an 8-unit building, and right now it's everybody in there is paying like around $500-$600 in rent, and the market rents are like 1500-1600.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about the lift. Jeez, my guy.
Yes. So we recently got this property appraised too, and it got appraised at like 2.2 million.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Even
I mean,
with the rent, the current rents?
yeah. So what we do is, so with a lot of
Love
these lenders,
it.
we do a repositioning loan, right? We get
Okay.
a loan based on repositioning the asset, right? And then for that property, that's the type of loan we're getting. But because we see so much lift, now we have a lot of exits in that deal, right?
Yeah.
So just to sum up, your question as well, it depends on the asset.
Yeah.
Lending options for multifamilies, they're very favorable. It's not too difficult unless you move into mixed use. That's when you get a lower LTV, and that's why things get a little messy. But uh, as long as you're buying an asset that's not close to any gas stations or anything that's gonna affect the environmental assessment of the property,
Yeah.
you should be good.
That's sweet. That's sweet. So you use your broker. You and your broker obviously a good relationship there. When you find a deal, you guys are working together to find a solution. You're not like, hey, this is the solution I want. Broker, make it happen. You work with like you guys are together finding a solution rather than you just bringing it to them.
Yep. So me, my broker, and my appraiser. I have these three guys in the back, right?
That's good.
Appraiser, I'm looking at their deal. My appraiser sent me all the recent deals in that area that have been appraised at what value, what cap rate, and price per door, right? So that really helps me analyze. Hey, you know what? If the cap rate, let's say in St. Catharines, is at 5, then I'm going to be looking at a 5 cap on the refi, right? So
Nice.
stuff like
Yeah.
that really helps.
That's sweet. Yeah, I think that speaks to the power team that you've generated out there. So that's great. That could be a whole, another live just talking about the power team. But let me get into the last one. I know I was going so I know I sent you some. So I was gonna ask you, if you had 200K versus not, but I'm gonna give you a little off the cuff one. Knowing where you are now, under 30, let's say you're 35 and we're sitting down again having a conversation. What does your real estate portfolio look like?
That's a very good question.
I knew I was gonna throw you for a little on that
Okay,
one.
so if I'm under 35, or if I'm sitting at 35, what kind of portfolio you're gonna be looking at? So honestly, all land and for me, land and multifamilies and dabbling into developments. Recently, I've really gotten into that space, and right now I'm in the process of building a solid team around me, like developers, builders,
Yeah,
consultants. So my partner, he's a developer by trade, and so
nice.
me and him, we're trying to assort and assemble 400 acres in the Niagara region that's
Yeah,
currently sitting outside of the urban boundary, right? So a difference. So right now, land within the urban boundary, so urban boundary is like the line where you can build inside. Anything outside of you can't build on. But if any of this land holds a title of green belt or conservation, you can build on it regardless if it's either
yeah,
inside or outside. So the land that's sitting outside the urban boundary is currently 3 to 4 times cheaper than the land that's currently inside. Example would be outside land is 150K per acre. Inside land is 400K per acre because you can build on it.
yeah,
What a lot of cities are doing, they're expanding their urban boundaries on a yearly basis because they need more developments and more houses to sustain
yeah,
their population, right?
yeah,
So now we're looking to buy a lot of these land that's sitting outside of the curb of the urban boundary, but sitting right beside it, but on the outside of it. And as they go up, as the urban boundary expand, these lands are going to be worth. Let's say we're
yeah,
paying $5 million for one. Like right now, we're paying like I think $10 million for 70 to 73 acres. This is going to be worth once it's inside, it's going to be worth like around 25 million, 25 to $30 million, right? And
shoot,
and that's just a land itself, right? So now, if you
yeah,
were to get the zoning on it, the valuation goes to maybe 35, right? You get the draft plan
gotcha.
approved. So like deals like that, these are like long term deals. So that's what I'm trying to move more towards, and also at the same time keep buying my multifamily, like add value multifamilies, to sustain the
Nice.
cash flow.
That's great, man. I think that is an amazing strategy. You thought about the short term, mid, and even the long term. I love the land development. I'm kind of thinking that as well. I have some stuff noodling around about some luxury modular homes. but that's something else we can talk about in a little bit later then. But again, I don't want to take up so much of your time. Thank you so much for hopping on. I feel like the viewers that we had are going to be great. I'll try to save this and we'll cut it up so we can share the conversation we had with everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope you found some great value too. Where can people find out more about you if they want to get in touch with you, learn more what you're doing?
Awesome. Yeah, no, they can just follow me on Instagram. I'm very active, very, very active on my Instagram. I also do YouTube as well, so I'm coming out with a lot of consistent content there. So I would say Instagram, Invest with JJ. If they want to connect with me, I'm very active on that social media.
Perfect. All right, guys, you heard it here first. It's Invest with JJ. If you want to reach out to him, talk multifamily, land development, or anything real estate, that's your guy. For me, it's Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. Remember, guys, it's always nice to be in first position. JJ, thanks for hopping on, and we'll holler at you in a little bit, all right?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Henry. Have a good day.
Cheers, buddy.